Ireland is a land of castles, myths, and legends. But there is one place that stands above the rest, a fortress so steeped in blood, betrayal, and death that even the bravest fear to enter its halls. A place where restless spirits are said to wander endlessly, where an ancient, inhuman entity lurks in the shadows. This is Leap Castle, Ireland's most haunted fortress. And tonight, we are going inside its dark history to uncover the chilling truth. Leap Castle sits in County Offaly, Ireland, its stone walls towering above the countryside. It is believed to have been built sometime in the late 13th or early 14th century by the O'Bannon clan, secondary chieftains who served under the powerful O'Carroll family. From the very beginning, the castle was marked by bloodshed and betrayal. According to legend, when the O'Bannons decided where to build the castle, two brothers both claimed leadership of the clan. To settle the dispute, they devised a horrifying challenge. Each brother would leap off a rocky outcrop where the castle now stands. Whoever survived would rule. This deadly leap gave the fortress its name, Leap Castle. From that moment on, the castle was cursed by violence. Soon after, control of the castle passed into the hands of the O'Carroll clan, one of the most brutal families in Irish history. The O'Carrolls were notorious for their ruthlessness. They ruled with an iron fist, murdering rivals, and even turning on one another. Feuds, poisonings, and betrayals became common inside the castle walls. But one of the darkest tales comes from the castle's own chapel, a place that should have been sacred. It is said that in the 16th century, the O'Carroll brothers were locked in a violent struggle for power. During a mass being held in the chapel, one brother stormed in and plunged his sword into the priest, his own sibling, killing him at the altar in front of horrified witnesses. From that moment on, the chapel became known as the Bloody Chapel. Visitors to this day report flickering lights, ghostly chanting, and a heavy, suffocating energy when they step inside. Some even claim to see a phantom priest, his robes soaked in blood, still reliving his violent death. As if fratricide wasn't enough, Leap Castle hides an even darker secret within its walls. Behind the altar in the Bloody Chapel, workers discovered a hidden chamber in the early 1900s. It was an oubliette, a small dark dungeon designed for prisoners to be thrown in and forgotten. But this was no ordinary dungeon. At the bottom, workers found the skeletons of over 150 bodies, impaled on wooden spikes. Victims would be dropped into the shaft, where they would slowly die, impaled, starving, or suffocating in agony. Even more disturbing, among the bones, workers discovered the remains of men wearing armor dating back to the 1500s, proof of just how long this cruel death trap had been in use. The discovery horrified the world, and ever since, the oubliette has been a source of terrifying paranormal activity. Visitors report screams echoing through the castle at night, anguished cries of those who died in the pit. Some feel unseen hands pushing them, as though the spirits are trying to drag others into the darkness with them. Among all the spirits said to haunt Leap Castle, one stands out as the most terrifying of all: the elemental. This entity is not believed to be human. Some say it was summoned by druids before the castle was built, bound to the land by ancient rituals. Others believe it was born from the unimaginable suffering within the walls, a demon-like force feeding off death. The elemental is described as a dark, shadowy figure about the size of a human, with decayed facial features. Witnesses say it has the stench of rotting flesh and sulfur, and when it appears, a sense of dread and nausea overwhelms anyone nearby. One of the earliest recorded encounters comes from Mildred Darby, who lived in Leap Castle in the early 1900s. She was fascinated with the occult and often performed seances inside the Bloody Chapel. During one of these nights, she came face to face with the elemental. She described it as, "The thing was about the size of a sheep, a thin, gaunt, shadowy figure. Its face looked weird, or to be more accurate, inhuman. Its eyes were black cavities, and it gave off the smell of a rotting corpse." Since then, countless visitors and paranormal investigators have claimed to sense or even see this horrific being. It is said that the elemental never speaks. It simply watches and waits. The O'Carroll reign left the castle drenched in violence. Rival clans, such as the McMahons, were lured to the castle under the promise of a feast, only to be massacred inside the walls. The O'Carrolls poisoned, strangled, and stabbed their way through history, until finally their power declined. But the castle remained a place of unrest and tragedy. Later owners, including the Darby family, experienced continuous hauntings. Mildred Darby's writings about the paranormal at Leap Castle were widely published, cementing its reputation as Ireland's most haunted location. During the Irish Civil War in 1922, Leap Castle was attacked and badly damaged. Locals believed the spirits within were finally taking revenge. But even in ruin, the hauntings continued. Today, Leap Castle is privately owned by musician Sean Ryan, who has been restoring it since the 1990s. But even he admits that the castle is not empty. Sean and his family report constant supernatural activity, doors opening and slamming on their own, footsteps echoing through empty halls, and cold spots that linger no matter the season. Paranormal investigators from around the world have visited Leap Castle, many leaving terrified. The castle has been featured in countless documentaries, including Most Haunted and Ghost Adventures. Visitors frequently report apparitions in the Bloody Chapel, poltergeist activity, including objects being thrown, unexplained voices, including chanting in Latin, encounters with the elemental, often accompanied by the smell of death. One investigator described his visit by saying, "It feels as though the walls themselves are watching you. You're never alone in Leap Castle. Something is always there." Many haunted locations have one or two spirits tied to a tragedy. But Leap Castle is different. It is a place built on centuries of violence, betrayal, and suffering. The Bloody Chapel, the oubliette, and the elemental combine into a trifecta of horror. It is not just a haunted building. It is a fortress of darkness. Psychics who have visited say the energy is so heavy it feels like a weight on the chest. Others refuse to enter at all, fearing what lingers inside. Leap Castle remains one of the most haunted places on Earth. It is a monument to betrayal, murder, and bloodshed, where history has been written in screams. From the cries of the dead in the oubliette to the looming presence of the elemental, its halls are alive with shadows. And though centuries have passed, the castle refuses to rest. Those who enter do so at their own risk. For once you step inside Leap Castle, you may never walk out the same. If you enjoyed this journey into Ireland's most haunted fortress, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Truth is Terror, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another terrifying story. And remember, the scariest stories are always the true ones. Until next time, sleep well